Hi. So, my name is Vincent Boudier. I come from France, from Paris exactly. I've been making motion graphics for 6-7 years now. This is my first tuts for Tuts Plus, and today we use Particular 2 to make growing palm trees in a little scene. First, sorry for my poor English, for my ugly accent. I'll try to speak as slowly and as clearly as possible. And not to make this tutorial too long, I have already prepared the project, and I'll show you all the steps to achieve this effect. So first we'll have a look to the final effect we want to achieve. Here we go. Open Recent, Postcard Records. Here we go. Okay, so let's have a closer look. This tutorial will be not on this effect because I think it's a simple effect that anyone can easily do. So we'll essentially cover these palm trees and how to make them growing like this. Okay, so the first thing, here is the comp. So, I'll just turn that in solo mode and choose another camera to show you how does it work. Camera preview. Okay, so we've got a palm tree. So to make that, we've got 3 layers of particular. The first one is the trunk one. Okay. Alright, to do that, it's quite simple. You apply the particular effect, and let's have a look. So the first thing to do is to set up the emitter. So as you can see, it's a point emitter. And to control the position of the emitter, I use a new object that its name is trunk one control. If you look at this, you see that the null object. Sorry for that. Can I see my null object, please? What's happening? Okay. Yeah, you can see my new object, and with a simple expression, I just link them together, the emitter, and you've got this one, temp equal this complayer trunk 1 control transform position, temp 0 and temp 1 for the X and the Y position, and for the Z position, just take the transfer position 2 of the trunk 1 control. Okay, so you have just to make a little animation like this. Then, in the particular, you choose a sphere as a particle, and just go to the emitter. I just animate the emitter so that the particle emits from 0 to 19 frames. At the frame 20, I just put a little more particle, and I will explain why later. And then push the particle back to 0, so it no longer emits after. Okay. Then for the particles, let's have a closer look. For the particles, I use a sphere particle to make this kind of look, you know, not straight line, but with a frozen edge like this. Is just a size random, so I choose a size of 11 with size random of 21. If I play with this, you see what it's happened. Okay, and important things for the color, I use a random from gradient. With a different brown color, and it makes this little lines over there, like a palm tree. If you want more lines, it's very simple. Go to the emitter, and if I play with this, you see, just turn the shadow light option for the moment. Go to shading off, just because. And if I change this, there is more and more lines, or less lines. Okay, Command Z, back to the shadow light. I will explain the shadow light setting later. Bring it on. Okay. And no later, I will explain it now. So, for the shading, is the particle over? Yeah, we see, no, it's the emitter, particle, okay. Well, no, we have to see in the particle section. So, for the shading, I create light, name it shadow, to make the light actually shade the particles, but also control the shadow light settings. For the shadow light settings, you have to choose the placement to. By default, it's an auto, but if you want to be sure that the light is controlling, the shadow light is controlling the shadow light settings, you have to choose project. Okay, and I put my light up to the skies. I will show where it is. Sorry. It's very up to the sky, I think. Where is my light? Ah, it's here. So, back to the shading. So, you have to play with this setting, because my light is far away. With the nominal distance, you can actually... we will turn the shadow lights for main off for now, to see how it acts. You know, it's just the fall off of the light and the particles. You can play with the diffuse value, but I let it to 80. And then you can activate the shadow light settings, shadow for main, to create this shadow. And why my particle per second parameter was animate is just the more particles you have, the darker the shadow will be. So to make this little shadow there, because when my palm will be built, I need some little shadow there. You have just to make a little bit more particles, and the shadow is darker. So it's quite useful to play with that, because you can control the density of the shadow with the particle per second parameters. So, and then to finish with the trunk, I just use an obscuration layer, because you know, that's the start of my trunk. And if I do not use an obscuration, show what's happened, the first particle go under the floor, and I don't want that, so I use an obscuration layer, that is trunk 1 obscuration. I can show you the layer. it's there, and it's this layer is cutting the first particle. So then we have to build the palms. So the first thing to do, turn off the trunk. So for the palms, it's similar techniques that in the just duplicate that to show you. Reset that, and I use a preset that is organic lines. I'm sure you all know this preset. Where it is? We take organic lines, that's the same. Okay. This preset use some main particles, and these particles are, if you look, are sized to 0, so you can't see these particles, but with the particles you emit aux particles with a color, and with the size of the life parameters you can control the shape of the lines, and etc, etc. So delete this layer, go back to Palm 1. So to achieve this effect, it's quite simple. For the moment I turn off the aux system and bring back the particle opacity, the main particle opacity to 100, and you see what happens. It's just a little explosion. It's a point emitter. This emitter is directional with a direction spread. It explodes upwards with gravity and a little bit of air resistance too. And then I put this particle green, of course. It's some spheres. And then I put the opacity to 0. And then with this particle emit aux particles continuously with about 150 particles per second, and then use the size of the life settings to make these particle scenes, and then the aux particles growing to make this kind of effect. And one last thing to achieve this effect, I'll just duplicate this layer once again to show you. I've animated all of the settings, so as you can see the particle per second is about 700, then back to 0 to just emit a few particles. And if I turn off this, you'll see what happened. The physics time factor is 1. The animation is, the palms are growing, and we do not want that. So to fix that, we just made a little animation of the physics time factor here, and because the animation was too slow with a physics time factor of 1, I just put a second keyframe, one frame after, to make it 2. It's better to change the physics time factor on the second frame, because if you change it in the first frame, it will act on the particle per second settings. It will act on the particle per second settings. So first frame physics time factor 1, second frame 2 to make the animation more dynamic. And when you think the palms looks good enough, you just put another keyframe and a last keyframe with the where the physics time factor is set to 0, and then your palms are built. So then when you put, I can delete this layer, it was just to show you. Then, when you put together these two layers, you see there is a little problem there, that because the trunk is over all the palm. And if I put the trunk under the palms, the trunk is under all the palms. And really, that's not the effect we want to achieve. So, what I have done is just to duplicate this layer, palm once, and put it over the trunk, and then use another obscuration layer, palm 1 obscuration, that is here, I can show you, and it's a 3D layer that cut all the particles behind the trunk. So if I look at this, I've got just the palms in front of the trunks, and I got the trunk under, and then I got the palms. Oh, there is a little problem. I think I have to purge. No, huh? No matter. I think it's a question of position of the emitter, but nobody matters. So, so you have the palms behind the tree. Okay, so then what I've done is to duplicate this layer, to have more palms, shift them in time. I have a third palm tree, and I don't need to show that. A third palm tree. What is this in some shadows? We'll see that later. Okay. And we have our palm trees growing up to the skies. Yeah, that's it. And if I do a quick run preview, you see what happens. I didn't talk about it, but of course, for the palms, you have to set up the shading control with nominal distance and the shadowlet settings, except that for the palms, it's not shadowlet for men that you have to turn on, but shadowlet for hawks, and they give you these little shadows there. And okay, so then now I've got 3 palm trees. Then I have to put a little island. So it's a very simple solid with a mask on it, a little rump, a little stroke, and that's it. And then I put small solids there too. That shadow, to make a contact shadow there. And one little trick, if you look at this shadow, this layer don't appear because the island is over. You know, the shadow is there. I put it on, and if I put the island, because the island is in front of this shadow in the 3D space. So to fix that, I just create a simple adjustment layer. That is a 2D layer, we call it 3D break, and put it between the 2 layers, and if I activate it, magically the shadow appears. So I can activate all the layer. Here we go. This is my obscure layer, this is my shadow layer, actually that is my light layer too. Then we go to the final comp, and here is the pre-comp. We've just turned it off. Okay, here is the pre-comp we've just done. So, okay, so I copy my camera. Sorry, just a last thing. Here, this is my camera preview to see the whole scene. I just made a little animation of. I can show you that. It's a little camera animation just to travel in the palms. Okay. Yeah. I have one thing to say about camera, particularly depth of field with a particular tool. Okay, so I've just made a little animation. Okay, and if I look to the animate values, you can see that I turn on depth of field, and there is a little problem with the particular 2. That is when the depth of field is too strong, you can see a sort of I'll show you. I'll show you that will be better than word. Look, if I change this value and put it to 500, for example, you'll see what's happened. The particle, the volume of the particles is growing and become fat, and it's not really depth of field. It's I don't know what it is. And this problem appears only when you turn on shading on particular 2. So don't be too strong with this setting. I think you can add a little bit of depth of field, but not too much, because if you don't, I can show you what happened on the previous test that I made over there. You can see thing like this, and you see the thing is growing like this, and it is not very cool. So be careful with this setting. So I'm going back to my main composition. So what I've done is to copy camera depth shadow to the main composition, just to create a sea, create a sky, etc., etc. So first thing I've done is don't look at this for the moment. Put a sky with the Horizon plugin. It's a very cool plugin. I really like it. You can do this with a simple gradient, but I like the way it moves with the camera, so I use Horizon. Color burn to have a more intense blue there. Okay, for the sky, then we talk about the sun. For the sun, I just use lens flare, which is a light factory easy. That is a simplified version of the light factory with a flare tip with some presets there. I use the sunset preset. And okay, and to control that and to actually make the sun move with the camera move, I use a controlless flare and a simple expression that I can show you. So I put a null layer with a Z position of 10,000 to be far away from us. And in the lens flare, I made a little expression that I'm sure you know. It's the 2comp expression. So it's very simple. You have just I will type it again for you. So you make a variable equal to your null control layer. Then you have to type src dot 2comp with a capital C. 2comp, I don't know what no, it's not a comma. Sorry, I haven't got the word. So it's parenthèse in French. src 2comp src dot anchor point, and this expression will transform the 3D coordinates of of this null object into 2D coordinates that can be used in the light factory effect, because the light factory has only 2D coordinates. So when it moves with the camera, you haven't got to animate this position, because the camera moves, make it for you. Sorry. So then this is a reference layer. I can delete it. Then I build the C. To build the C, it was very simple. This is here my light that I copy from the pre-comp palm tree. I put it with the other light. I will explain you that in a minute. So to make the C, I just create a solid. Two solid, in fact, but the first one is C ramp. Basically, it's a basic solid with 90 degrees rotation in X rotation, with a ramp on it, and with the position is the position of the base of the island. Okay. To make this reflection there, you have to play with the specular settings, and the second light that I've created here is just because it was a little bit too dark. So basically this is an ambient light which light this a little bit. Okay, then I create a C fractal. Basically, it's the same solid with the same rotation, the same position, with a fractal noise applied on it. You have to check out the uniform scaling to make, you know, because if I put this back to 100, you see what happens. It doesn't look like C. So just decrease the scale height and increase the scale width to have this kind of thing. Then to animate that, I made a little expression too in the evolution parameters of the fractal noise, time by 80, and for the offset turbulent I put keyframes, because sometimes if you use this expression time by any numbers, sometimes this value go far away from 10,000, and the fractal noise don't accept values over 10,000. So I make keyframe for this one. So it make if I do a quick RAM preview. No, sorry. You see. I make this one solo. Turn that off, and I can turn that off too. And this make the C moving smoothly moving like this. Okay, it's a really basic setup. And then I've got that. I've got my sun, lens flare, I've got my C ramp, I've got my sky, and everything is quite okay, but there is little things that this animation misses some little details. So what I've done is I take this pre-comp palm tree to make a reflection. It's quite simple. I just duplicate this. Oh, sorry, I forget something with the sun. Go back to the palm tree. To make the sun interact with the palm tree, you know, like this. What I've done is to duplicate this pre-comp palm tree. That I call it pre-comp palm tree obscuration. that is exactly the same comp, but I just put an adjustment layer there with a level effect, and I just make the alpha more transparent. And I use this layer in my parent tree composition as an obscuration layer for the light factory, so that the light factory, when the sun is behind the palm, become less intense. Okay, so then coming back to my reflection. So to make my reflection, I duplicate this precomp 2, precomp palm tree. I call it precomp palm tree reflection, and as you see, it's already as a reflection. To do that, it's very simple. I just duplicate the island, which is the origin of my scene, and I can show you. So this is my original composition. Okay, look, everything is like my precomp palm tree, and I link my camera depth to the island, and then scale in Y by minus 100%. So all my scene is reversed now. It's quite useful to make reflection. This technique is quite useful. So then what I've done, just palm tree, my final composition. Okay, I just turn off this for the moment. Okay, and okay, you can see my reflection there. As you can see, I put it in normal mode, and you will see the problem. No, sorry, normal mode. Normal mode. Okay, transparency 100. You see, because my island is not flat and straight, the island, the reflection of the island comes there, and we do not want that. So I just make a 3D solid and use it as an alpha matte, an alpha inverting matte, to cut out this part and this part there. If you want to see the solid, here it is. It's a basic masking technique. And then I use the soft light blend mode with 60% opacity. Okay. And then I use a displacement map filter. To do that, as you can see, I've got a displacement map layer. I've just used this layer, C fractal. With the camera depth, I duplicate this layer and pre-compose it into the displacement map. I can show you here. Okay, I have forgotten something. It's back and forth and back and forth. So the C fractal is in multiply mode, and it's about 80% to make this look. So then I create my displacement map. I put back my opacity to 100% in normal mode. So I've got now, if I look it's all this composition is a 2D layer, because displacement map only accept 2D layers. So I've got my displacement map, put it in my final composition here, and then I put the displacement map effect, use the displacement map, and you see what it does here. Put a little Gaussian blur, and here it is. Okay. Ooh, nice particles there. It's a little bug. You have just to purge, and everything will be okay. Okay, nice. Then all these things look like a little bit cheap, a little bit plastic. So to finalize that, I just use a cartoon effect. I think this effect is built in a CS4 version, but actually I'm on the CS3 version, so I use an effect, the Tune-It Auto-Tune effects from Red Giant, and I put this effect twice, one on my palm tree to have this look, and you can see if you look at the beginning of the animation, it makes this really cool looking on the trunk. It makes some little dark lines. It's pretty cool. Okay, and then I put it. I didn't apply it to the whole scene, because if you do that, you will have a lot of black lines. You will have black lines between the sky and the palm tree. You will have black lines around the sky, the sun, and we do not want that. So I apply it once on the pre-comp palm tree, and I apply a second one as an adjustment layer to the sky and the sea. And here it is. And the scene is quite complete. And wait, just one more thing to finish. Of course, you can play with the color, make some color adjustment, and I just use a curve effect and a noise effect to give this old look, and here it is. This tutorial is 40 minutes long. It's long enough, I think. So I hope you like it. Once again, sorry for my accent, sorry for my ugly English. Thank you for watching, and see you later. Bye.